We're sitting here with Mr. Jersey Freeze over there, Lynn Donahue. You're good, mate. Just waving to you. And I'm sitting here with the Leavitts, or parts thereof, because there are many different parts of this family, Eddie. Although Butch, now that's obviously very well known. Let's do this. Ryan Leavitt, introduce me to your family.
So I'm Ryan. This is Charlie. He's my younger brother.
Yep.
This is my dad, Eddie Leavitt Jr., also known as Butch.
Yes.
And then this is my mom, Amy Leavitt.
I think we all know that this is the glue right here. This is the queen over here that keeps this whole circus together, Eddie.
Yes.
Although she's a little crazy too.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how did you guys meet?
I had moved up here wanting to race, and we met at the skate pit,
Yep.
at a Valentine's Day dance.
Oh, you know, that's what I wish that the kids anymore, that's the way things would happen. These days you meet online before you meet as a person. You know, that kind of cool stuff where you met at the skate pit, that doesn't happen anymore like that, Amy, does it?
No.
What do you mean, no? Yep.
I agree.
Yeah, you're right. It's I bet you're a romantic, Charlie. I could see that. So let's talk about your dad, because Eddie Leavitt is a name that's, you know, well versed in this sport and in the annals of Knoxville Nationals history. Yeah.
Yes.
So when did Dad win the Knoxville Nationals?
He won in 75 and 76.
Back to back, baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's on those columns forever.
Yep.
Super cool. And you thought, I might be good at that. I'll try it too.
I don't know about that as much as I just grew up with it, and that's just all I wanted to do.
Yeah. How long did you race for, Eddie?
I raced on and off for about 10 years.
Okay. Why did you give up?
Money, and my body was abused.
Yeah.
I could crash with the best of them.
Well, I mean, that's important. At least you weren't scared. But this guy had a bit to do with you not racing anymore as well, right?
Yeah, when he got old enough, when we got the go-kart, I knew we couldn't do both, and I had a lot of fun with him, and so we just decided that that's what I was going to focus on.
Now let's talk about your little girl, because you have a beautiful daughter as well. Explain who she is and how she fits into the racing world as well.
So, Maggie Higday.
Oh, Margaret. I've never heard her called Margaret before. Yes, Margaret.
She is one of our pride and joys.
Yes.
She's the middle child.
Yep.
And she is married to Kade Higday.
Yep.
Who races as well. And and she's a huge part of our team and his team.
Yeah.
They all pit next to each other and they all help each other out, and it's just a big family thing.
There's always some guy in the room that wants the attention, isn't there? Now, Ryan, you were telling me the other day that that Charlie was actually only recently kind of correctly diagnosed as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's been a big help.
Yeah, so just a few years ago, they were able to, properly diagnose him and then try out a surgery for him, a brain stimulation surgery to, try to help him with his movements and his everyday life.
He is such a character. Like, I mean, everybody knows this rock star back here, don't they, Eddie?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Everybody knows Charlie.
We did this, we started this video here today at Jersey Freeze, and there was never any doubt in my mind he was going to end up being the star of the show.
Oh, yeah. He was all excited for this deal. It's hard to get him up early in the morning, and he was up getting ready.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan, was it inevitable that you would race?
Yeah, I think so. From a little kid, my dad used to sell tires in the infield, and I was always sneaking into the trailer and sneaking down into the pits before the races and hanging out with the drivers and stuff. So, that was me as a young kid. So I kind of grew up in the pits with, all the drivers and everything, and so it was just something I always wanted to do with a number 22 car. So
Yeah. How far into it are you now? How many years?
Actually coming up, I think 2026 will be my 20th year racing.
Wow.
Yep. So I started in 2006, and then 7 or 8 years in a sprint car.
So predominantly 360 stuff, Ryan. Has that sort of been your focus, budget-wise, and things like that?
Yeah. So I started off in a 360 sprint car, running the ASCS Warrior region, with Dale McCarty as my car owner. And then we came back here and ran 2 seasons in the Pro Sprint Series, and then made our jump to the 360s. And 360s has definitely been our focus. We got Rookie of the Year the first year. Now we're just chasing that first win in the 360 class.
We are right next to a Casey's, which is one of the busiest Casey's in the game here at Monroe, which is right near where we are at Jersey Freeze. You were telling me a story about that a lady came all the way out from Washington, was it, to get you to sign a book that your granddad had signed?
Yep, so it was pretty cool. A lady, she just heard that, the Leavitt name and stuff, and so she was a big fan of my grandpa back in the day. And so out of nowhere, she showed up in the pits at Knoxville Raceway and flew out here to get my autograph next to his.
Wow.
On an autograph book. So that was pretty cool, and that's probably one of the, we get it all the time with people that remembered my grandpa and everything, and they hear the Leavitt name coming back to Knoxville Raceway, and so we've had a lot of people come down and tell us old stories of Knoxville Raceway and other tracks around the country, from the 70s and 80s.
So they don't come out and say, "Hey, aren't you Butch Leavitt's kid?"
Oh yeah, I hear it every year. And at Nationals, I always have to hear about when I was born, because my dad in 1969 was qualified on the front of the Nationals, and he went back to Kansas City, and I was having complications, and so he didn't make it back up here for the Nationals.
Oh.
So everybody teases me at Nationals time that I cost him that Nationals.
Oh, wow. I'm sure that's not true.
That's very true. Pappy Weld used to call me his $3,000 baby.
Oh!
That's who he was driving for, and he didn't end up getting around.
Wow, that's brutal. Tell me about Mr. C's. Tell me about the connection to one of the most iconic Knoxville businesses, and how you're connected there, please.
So Mr. C is Charlie Smith.
Yep.
That was my father.
Mm-hmm.
And he moved all of us here from Kansas to start up the Little Duffer restaurants, which was like a fast food hamburger joint.
Yep.
And so we moved here, and Dad had a Little Duffer in Knoxville and Pella, and they were various different things after Little Duffer, but it came to be Mr. C's. And my brother Jay and his family ran it. Employed our kids as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's an iconic business. People
Yep.
talked about it, it's in town now in a different incarnation with new owners and stuff like that, and a different name, but I think everybody talks about some key Iowa businesses. The Rib Shack is certainly one of those, but Mr. C's was iconic.
Mm-hmm.
And a big part of our community.
Yep. And if you kind of think about it, racing was always in my husband's family. So that's where my kids went, and Maggie as well raced when she was little. And then the restaurant business was more in my family. So, it's just kind of what you grow up with, and what you want your kids to be exposed to, whether it's racing or or restaurants.
So if your dad hadn't moved you guys to from Kansas to, start in the restaurant business, you wouldn't have, right? You wouldn't have seen her at the skate pit and said, all right. Wouldn't have been any loving going on, and this lunatic in the background wouldn't be around. So, you must be so proud of not just your racing heritage, Ryan, but your family, because you have one of the great families in not only this region, but in the sport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool, and it's in the middle of the race season, everything gets so busy, and everything just gets so crazy, but it's nice to kind of reflect, and there's so many race fans out there and stuff that probably help us recognize how important our family has been through the years, and now that we're still doing it, being a third generation driver, and then having my brother-in-law pitted next to us every week, and getting to compete against him and his family, and it's really cool to have us all involved in it still, and be at Knoxville Raceway every week.
So this guy is such a character. He's more famous than most of the Leavitts, I know that much, and he's a bit of a the ladies love him. I mean, let's face it. You were saying to me that the last 2 years in particular that you've really seen a real change in Charlie. He's really matured and a lot. I'm guessing that you agree with that too, Mum, by the way. What has been the catalyst for him, having that growth and that development as a mature man?
I think the surgery really helped him. And so, he's able to sit up straight, better
Yep.
and do a lot more things on his own. And, I think it's kind of eased him, as far as, his attitude and everything. And, he's always been a great kid with a huge smile.
Yep.
He's always been happy.
Yes, he has.
But he's just turned into so laid back. I mean, he's the pickiest person in the world, but he's pretty much go with the flow. If me and Maggie want to go do something and take him, he just kind of is along for the ride. So it makes it a lot of fun to hang out with him.
Now, since he turned 21, the biggest story has been what's actually in the bucket, because I worry that he carries this thing around that it's not Bush Light or something like that now, is it?
No. After 5 o'clock, when the business day is done, he likes to celebrate with a Crown Apple Mountain Dew.
Oh, Crown Apple, okay.
That's great. Yep.
You must be so proud of your family.
Yep.
All of them. You got great kids, and I was talking to you before about this Butch, who was named after Eddie Van Halen, by the way, not his dad. That you get great kids from great parents, but boy, you got 3 really good kids, mate.
Yeah, we really are truly blessed to have 3 amazing kids that, Ryan and Maggie just, like Ryan said, just, take Charlie wherever they go, whether it's boating or, bowling or whatever. They just take him along, and Charlie just goes. And so, we're really lucky to have these guys.
I heard something about bowling before, Ryan. Didn't you tell me that he's training for the Special Olympics or something like that?
Yeah, so we took him up Friday to get a little more practice in, but here in a few weeks he's got the Special Olympics bowling tournament. So he is in that to try to go to the state bowling tournament.
Gee, that's cool. How do we find out more about that? Is there a Facebook page or something for?
I believe so.
There's the Special Olympics Iowa Games.
Yep.
There's a Facebook page and also a website. You can find out event information.
All right. We need to find out more about Kingpin over here. The business. You're in the Leavitt's graphics, business. You've been doing T-shirts and caps and all sorts of things, and you work closely as well with Deb Dennison with the way the A-Main T-shirt thing is produced, which is oh, look at that! The plug is right. Good work. This is the PR manager for. Look at that. Got the Kade Higday racing hat there. Nice. He's got the Jersey Freeze hat on. Life is good, isn't it?
Yeah.
That just reminded me then, right, of just how. Look at that. So, how long's the business been going for? And you did the bold move lately, Cotton, of employing Dad.
Yeah.
People weren't sure how that was going to go, whether you guys were going to be beating up on each other, or how's that going for you?
Yeah, it's going great. It's kind of he's been in the factory for 32 years, so coming over to the business was definitely a change up for him and us. And we learn every day. There's lessons to be learned, and especially running a small business. It's like it seems like every single day there's a new challenge that you have to overcome and learn from. So we're just trying to do our best and produce a lot of T-shirts that go all over the world. And so it's pretty cool to be a part of it.
Amy, you and I have talked before about the beauty of Knoxville, Iowa, and the people around it, and it's what makes me the most excited to come back here every year. That thing in the background with the number 22 on it is cool, but it's nowhere near as cool as the people. And this is such a beautiful community, isn't it?
It is. It's just really awesome. We've learned to work with other businesses and to help achieve our goals, and then they call on us to help them too. So I just can't say enough about Knoxville and the people that live and work there. It's just such a great family community.
Absolutely. You guys are a large part of why I love this place so much. So I want to thank you for your friendship for, so many years now. What are you doing back there? At least we know it's not 5 o'clock somewhere. He's not on the Crown Apple yet. Boy, could have been 3 times, hey? I didn't know that story. I've learned a couple of things today, that it's Margaret, not Maggie. Your dad could have been a 3-time. Doesn't matter, mate. I'm glad you're here.
Oh, yeah.
I think you made the right choice. And to be honest with you, that's a little bit rare. A lot of men back in the day would have just taken the race, not gone home.
Yeah, I told him he should have done it, but he, like he said, when the doctor told him it could go either way, it didn't really have a choice. So.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything we need to say before we wrap things up?
Yeah, we gotta give a big thanks to you. You know, you just had surgery and everything.
Oh,
You still
yeah.
came out here, and you know, it's a lot of race people are very appreciative of, you know, all the stories that you go around the country, and you're telling all these stories that, you know, a lot of people didn't hear. You know, like the '69 Nationals, or
Yeah.
you know stuff all over the country. So us race fans definitely appreciate you too.
Oh, thank you, mate. I'm glad we finally got to do this.
Yeah.
Because it came up as a goofy idea during Nationals, and it's been hard. Every time there's been a stumbling block and a hurdle and something like that, but we made it happen. So thank you for all your messing around. I love you guys. Behave yourself back there, you lunatic. Good luck in the Olympics. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Wayne.